Good morning and welcome to Presence of Light with Charlie Riverman here on Humanity Healing. And it's a pleasure to be with you and to share part of my life and experience with you. I know that you are many, that you are gathered around the world. Together we represent probably the largest group of spiritually collective differences that can gather in one formation. And so it's my honor to be here and share me with you. So today is Friday the 13th. And the show is really not about Friday the 13th, although it has a big role in what I'm going to talk about. And the topic is bringing through and being the light. And it's interesting how Friday the 13th has been recognized around the world through history, even pre-BC, back into the Nordic stories of the number 13 being a very ominous number, that somebody is going to die or something, some misfortune is going to happen. Good morning, Jennifer. Something bad is going to happen, that somehow there's, problems going to just rise, and we just need to step away and hide for the day, or so to speak. It has never been that for me. Friday the 13th, or the 13th, is a day of rebirth. The number 13 for me is, good morning, Alaya. The number 13 is, for me, rebirthing. It's the 12 around 1, where all possibilities for light can shine. The 13 is that 1 in the center. It's not an unusual channel for that to bring through from other dimensions and other aspects of ourselves. The light that we truly are, and that we as the 12 around 1 receive that and are then lifted and embraced in love and light. Lisa feels like she lives in darkness since she lost her beloved son. And that is a challenge for you, Lisa, to begin to see the light and to see the love that still exists between you and your son. There is no separation and there is no darkness. And maybe I'll touch on something that will help you later on in my talk. So my logical brain, as I have damage in my brain from a motorcycle accident and a death experience, where the right side of my brain, that which is perhaps the more masculine logical side, was rewired. And I came back quite confused as to how do I function, what do I do, and had to learn how to think all over again. And even today, there are parts of that brain that are just not going to work. And I didn't seek any help with that, because God, the Spirit of God, said to me, you have to work your way through this. And so when I say that, I just learned about a month ago that there's a name for it. They call it a TBI, a traumatic brain injury. And I said, isn't it amazing? I have no intention of understanding what the conscious world thought of me as to what I feel and what I see inside. I wanted to experience the fullness of my death. And I wanted to feel the full experience of my light. And that's what I've been doing for 20 years. 27 years, whatever it is. Doesn't matter. Years are meaningless to me because I look at us all as eternal beings. And whether we're here in this physical form or we're in a stasis of light or embodied in some other way, we live eternally. And so that's a message for you, Lisa. Think about the eternity of your son and tap into that. Find him somewhere. You will connect to him. He will connect to you. And if I can bring that through on Friday the 13th with you, I would love to connect the two of you. That would be my desire, my heart's desire, to heal that wounded heart and allow your son to come through and speak to you. So please stay tuned. This is a powerful day. My energy is powerful. The powerful energy of God that we, understand in our different religions and facets is all perfectly aligned. And we're gathered here together. So this darkness story of Friday the 13th has been perpetrated on some level on all of us. It's been designed in order to keep us in a state of fear or keep us in a state of subjugation. And was always a reminder, and you'll find that most of these dark holidays that we've invented have nothing in reality to the truth. It's just that something negative occurred on that day, and then the human mind said, wow, this is a way we can keep perpetuating fear. And this is the whole thing. It's about fear. It's about fear versus light. Fear is what we would term darkness. Darkness and light are balanced in this dimension. Where there's a balance. It's the yin, the yang. I mean, it has to balance. And right now, this past week, the darkness seems to have taken an increase in energy. And as it spread its nastiness around the world to infect, not that it always hasn't, but it's becoming conscious. We're becoming more consciously aware of how deep this darkness is in the minds of people, rulers, people who should know better, people who should be leading us out of this darkness, and they're failing to do this because they're so overcome by it. All I can do is ask for forgiveness for them and ask for their blessing. And so, too, I ask for a blessing for ourselves in our darkness and to bring through our light. And the thing that I keep seeing is this morning was the thing, my friend Judy, who I talked with yesterday, you must be the light that you wish to see. It's attributed to Buddha. And we were talking similarly about light and the light in us and how do we bring that through in this world of darkness. And the other day I wrote a quote, being who you truly are is far more important than what you think. And this thinking is what Friday the 13th affects. Thinking is what fear affects. But you as an individual soul, or what I call a source of unconditional love, you could also change that to be you are an unconditional source of light. And I urge everyone today to tap into that. Tap into the light that you are and express it, even if you just do it in small, minute ways. It doesn't matter. It will grow, because what it'll do, it will nourish you. The light nourishes us. It nourishes us from within our heart. Victoria, everything is how you interpret it. We can create situations to be positive, negative, all in how we decide to interpret it. Thank you. That's a confirmation, and it is true. And we do this, and we do it innocently many times because we want to play here. This is this body and this life is room to play and experience the power, the true divine power of who we are. And we've forgotten that. And we've been told that we're not so much that, and that it's hard for us to see beyond what is going on around us. And so, I just wrote down some words here, and I'm just going to read them. This is what I, wrote this morning. We have been given choices in order to come here from a world of light, which cannot be analyzed or logically or logistically explained by any of our human senses. Our teachings fail us, and it's all about the source of our being. We have a lot of quantum theories, which I studied quantum theory when I came back from my death 27 years ago. And now the ancient religions have been describing for a long time. And the ancient religions really tried to portray the light, but then they wove in the darkness in order to create a fear of defying light. And so somehow it got a little askew. And if you look at the ancient teachings, I ask you to look for the points of light in them. Not so much the commandments of thou can't do this, or you're not that, or that. Those are what humanity is capable of doing, all of those things. But focus on the areas that brings light and love to you. Not so much what not to do. You already know what not to do, because you are truly a divine being. And that's what we need to focus on in all our teachings, is where is the light in them. So in these aspects of light, basically keep us in alignment with it. So the more we focus on light and reading about light and interpreting light in our own lives and expressing light in ways that are very simple. I always say, keep it simple. And it doesn't matter. I think Judy yesterday said something about allowing the guy in the grocery line behind her, offering him to go ahead of her. And it was just an act of kindness. And he said, no, he was fine. He was retired and all the time in the world. But as I said to her, it's not so much the action that occurs. It's the offering the action that is important. When we fail to offer, then we have stopped the process for the light to change somebody's life. Because in that man's life, we don't know what just happened to him. But you are called to be nice, kind, exchange kindness, compassion. Let's get back into that. You know when you run into people and you get that trigger and you just, instead of just dismissing them, take a moment. Be the light that you are. Buy them a coffee. Open the door for them. Stop at the green light and let them go by. Yeah, they're wrong, but we don't know what their life situation is. Is it that, are we that important that we can't take a moment of our light to share it with others? This is where humanity has taken some very wrong turns. And as we can see in the world around us, every age of lifetime has tried to maintain this balance between light and dark, with the present era becoming perhaps the closest to not recovering itself back into homeostasis. We're struggling. We are really struggling. And if I can reach 10 people, and those 10 people reach 10 people, and those people 10, and anyone can grasp this concept of we are the light. We are the ones who have come here to anchor the light. And it doesn't matter how small or how insignificantly we do it, it builds. And anchors into the earth and it shifts the earth. Everything will change. So don't lose hope when you look outside and you see Friday the 13th happening around you. That's all it is. It's just a label. It's just a label on the possibilities of darkness. They do not have to manifest. There is no rule or regulation that commands them to manifest. They are just what we, the light, have entered into to bring forth the light and the balance for all life to occur in. We are life givers. And it's not done through birth, and it's not done through genetics. It's done through the energy of who we truly are. So I don't want to get too long on that. But we are the light was the message that I brought back with me from my death. And that point is an absolute. When I died, I went to the light. I became the light. There was nothing else. And I say this story over and over again not to convince people, but to just show you that this is not something that I compromise on at all. When I died in a motorcycle accident. And when I died, I remember looking and leaving my body, and I was with somebody or something, and I remember watching myself talking to somebody, a police officer or ambulance person, as they were putting me in the ambulance. Okay, and I consciously remember that. And the next thing I knew, there was no me, there was no them, there was nothing but pure light. I was light. There was no body in the light. There was no light in the body. I was light. And if I could put my hands on you and place that light in you, you would never be the same. I can't do that. I'm not allowed to do that. For each of us are to come to that place within ourselves, and hopefully not by death either. The other two aspects of that were love and peace. I was peace. It wasn't peaceful. I was peace. It wasn't loving. I was love. I became those three aspects, that trinity, if you will, peace, light, and love. This is what we need to bring back into this world, each one of us through our hearts, because each one of you are that peace, that light, and that love. And I say this sincerely. And I don't know how not to say it. This was rebirth. Returning home. So when our loved ones die, when anything dies, you return to this source of creation, which is peace, light, and love. And you may lose your physical form, and you may lose your expression, and you certainly will lose your ego, mind, because that only is for us to operate in this frequency. And if we start focusing on that inner self, that light, that beingness within us, I promise you, your life will change. And all of this chaos outside of us, all of this this killing, this murdering, this raping, it's horrible. It's horrible to endure. Watching clear-cut trees, kill fish, plastic, all of this, it's insane. It brings me to my knees. And when it does, I come back into the center. And I say, this is who I am. And this is all I'm really here to be. And I need to realign with this. And in realigning with this peace, this light, this love, things will change. Hope you felt that energy. Things will change, not only for us, for things around us. It's our thinking that gets us all messed up. So Friday the 13th to me is a day of rebirth, and I don't take it lightly. And my hope is for each of you to find the glory of you. The glory. You are glorious. Thank you. It's probably my brother Melchizedek here saying, glory be to you for being here right now, because it's your light we're counting on, each and every one of you. I'm going to just read a Kuan Yin card for you as I close. And the interesting thing was I just randomly, let me see if I can get back to a screen where I can see the camera. Okay, there I am. It's a Kuan Yin card, oracle card, the threshold, number 39. Interesting, 39. It's 9 and 3, it's 12. The day 12, 12 and 1, the 13, the Kuan Yin card and I. And it's an amazing card in the fact that it fell out of the deck as I was shuffling them. So I don't take any of these messages lightly. As for any of you who know me, everything is a messenger to me. When the computer crashes, it's a message. Let's look at things from a different perspective to say how amazing we can really let go of the chaos and the crisis and the death and the misery and really start to turn on that light within us. So the threshold, the card is, and it's the number 39 Kuan Yin Oracle by Alana Fairchild. And it's written as this: at the threshold you stand. Before you lies a way that is beyond fear. It is a sacred passing through a karmic veil into a new life of empowerment, peace, spiritual service to humanity, and joy in your own soil. And believe me, I didn't pick this card. This card just, as I say, jumped out of the deck. Congratulations. You are embarking on the face of the deepest soul liberation into freedom of love that triumphs over fear. It has been quite a journey. Many, many lifetimes and much inner work has been required for you to be able to perceive the light of the divine even underneath the density of fear. You are fast approaching the karmic threshold where you can shift from fear-based to love-based embodiment. And I just want you to feel into that, from fear-based to love-based embodiment. And I'm going to have to expand that. I'm losing it. Okay. For now, allow beloved Kuan Yin to help you connect to the beauty and potency, the love and fearless, endless joy of your own higher self. Do not be disheartened by any old fears that are surfacing. You do not need to create a story out of them. You can just observe them with love and allow them to pass. It is just your inner self releasing any vibration which is not aligned with unconditional love. And as I spoke about the love that I was when I died, it was unconditional. There was no conditions. It was pure, and there was no words that I can use to describe it here in this physicality. Sometimes there can be the testing on the threshold. This is not an exam to be afraid of, but an opportunity to realize your development and to really be secure on a firm inner spiritual foundation before moving forward in your soul surface to others through how you live and be on this planet. It is no use in preparing to assist others on a higher scale in moving from fear to love if you are still making the transition yourself. Let yourself stabilize in the new vibration. And then your ability to help others will increase naturally and with much grace, assistance, and effortlessness. So the message here is we're all going through this. And at some point we will stabilize. And when we feel that sense of stabilizing, that's the moment we begin to step out and offer it to others. It's a gift we're developing within ourselves of coming to know who we truly are as these beautiful divine beings of light. And when we finally start to get it, we need to share it. All well done, beloved. There is much love and celebration in the spiritual worlds about this shift for you. Remember that the only defense ever needed, no matter what the apparent fear or threat is, unconditional love in the heart, which allows for compassion and detachment. You are safe and you are quickening in your readiness to pass the threshold. Your journey is truly blessed. Sit quietly, focus your breath in your heart, and say, I call upon my higher spiritual guides that love me unconditionally. I call upon Kuan Yin, who loves me unconditionally. Being with me now, beloveds, I thank you for your protection, love, peace, and fun. Namaste. And so, as I end the show, I'm not going to read the rest of the card. But I do want to remind each of you that this is the message we're all receiving. Even the ones who are in darkness and despair and acting out in anger and frustration. That anger and frustration is theirs. It isn't ours. They're angry, they're hurt, they're in pain within themselves. They are the suffering. And it is we who embark on this journey that are the compassion. And so we can look at Friday the 13th. The dark side is the suffering. And the renewal is the compassion. And we each, every day, we wake up and look out of these eyes, have an opportunity to choose which one we're going to display. Am I going to display my suffering and get everybody else just as miserable as I am in order to confirm that I'm miserable? Or am I going to sit in my compassion and trust my unconditional love, even though I may not feel it, but look for others who are in the same place as I am, trying to express that unconditional love and raise their vibration? Choice is ours. Every day we get up and open these eyes, because there is a place where there are no eyes. And it's beautiful, but it's not here. There wasn't trees, there wasn't birds, there wasn't people. It was beautiful. I would go back there in a heartbeat. But there is no life as we know it. And this is the precious gift that we have created for us to experience and grow and learn and share each other with each other by seeing ourselves in each other. So that's my Friday the 13th message. And I love you and I bless you and I thank you for appearing and I couldn't look at everything, which you all know I can't do anyway. I just kind of talk from my heart and let it flow. And I hope it flowed well. I hope each of you got something out of it. And even if you disagree with most of it, just look for the little fragments that might have hit home. I'm not here to be right. I'm not here to be a guru. I'm just here to be me and stand in my truth and feel comfortable in sharing it with all of you. So with that, I'm complete, and I love you. I thank you, and I respect you. May you be blessed this day and every day. Amen. See you somewhere in the cyber world. Bye-bye.